In this video, we're going to learn how to factorize simple quadratic expressions like these. Now, before we understand or do factorizing quadratics, first we will expand this quadratic here and then factorize it again back to see how factorizing works. So first, let's expand this expression here. We will multiply x by x and we will get x squared. Then multiplying x by 4 would get 4x, and after that we're going to multiply 3 by x, so it will be now 3x, and then we multiply 3 by 4, so we would get 12, so plus 12. Now we will collect the like terms. Here we have 4x and 3x add up to 7x, so it becomes x squared plus 7x plus 12. So now here we have a quadratic. Expression. But now, what if we would like to factorize this quadratic expression back as it was before multiplying? So here, for any quadratic like this, where the leading coefficient or the number multiplied by x squared is 1, we do it like this. Here, to factorize this expression back like this, now we need two numbers so that when we add them up, they would be 7, so they sum to 7, the middle number always, which is 7, and the product of those two numbers would be the constant term, which is here 12. So now the product is 12. Now the two numbers that add up to 7 and multiply to 12 are 3 and 4. So that's why here we put x, and the two numbers would be 3 and 4. Now, as we expanded this before, we got this. So here, see again, when we added here 3x and 4x, we got 7x. And when we multiplied 3 by 4, we get 12. Now, let's do some more examples on factorizing quadratics. Here we have another one. Now, again here, we need two numbers that add up to the middle number, which is 8, so sum to 8, and they multiply to this constant term, which is 15. So the product is 15. Now, the two numbers, or first, we can write 15 as a product of these pairs of numbers. 15 can be written as 1 multiplied by 15 or 3 multiplied by 5. And as we see this pair here, these two numbers add up to 8. So that's why the numbers will be 3 and 5. Now, then this expression can be factorized into x plus 3 multiplied by x plus 5. And now, if we expand these again and simplify, we would get this quadratic expression. Now, moving on to this example. Here, again, we open first two brackets, and we have y and y. So here we have y and y because y times y will be y squared. Now again here, we need two numbers, sum to 13, but when we multiply them, they will be 40. And these are all the pairs of numbers that multiply to 40. So 40 can be written as 1 times 40, or 2 by 20, 4 times 10, 5 times 8. Since the two numbers add up to 13, then we would choose 5 and 8, because 5 plus 8 would be 13. So here we have plus 5 and plus 8. Now, Here, as we see, the middle term is negative, but the constant number is positive. So here, again, we need two numbers so that when we add them up, we would get the middle number -9. And when we multiply them, we would get 20. Now, first we open brackets, and we have x times x. Now, since the two numbers add up to -9 but multiply to +20, so the two numbers have to be negative. So here we have negative and negative. Now the two numbers add up to -9 and multiply to 20 would be -4 and -5, because -4 and -5 would be -9, and -4 times -5 would be 20. Now, another example here, as we see here, the middle number now is positive, but the constant term is negative. So, we need two numbers, sum to 2, and if we multiply them, would get the constant number -15. So here, we have x times x. Now, since the two numbers multiply to -15, then one number must be positive and the other number is negative, so that they multiply to a negative number. The two numbers here will be +3 or +5 and -3, because 5 minus 3 would be 2, and 5 multiplied by -3 would be -15. Next example here we notice that both numbers are negative. So, two numbers, sum to -3 and multiply to -28. Now, 28 can be written like this: 1 multiplied by 28, or 2 by 14, or 4 multiplied by 7. And now, the two numbers that work here, 4 and 7, because here one of them will be negative and the other positive. So here the product is -28. So one number would be positive and the other is negative. Here the negative one would be 7, so -7, and the other number would be 4. So these two numbers add up to -3 and multiply to -28. So this factorized to x minus 7 multiplied by x plus 4. The last example here, the coefficient of t is -1 and this constant term is -56. So the two numbers here sum to -1 and multiply to -56. So again, 56 can be written as 1 multiplied by 56, 2 by 28, and 4 multiplied by 14, or 7 multiplied by 8. Now, we notice that these numbers are one number apart, so they are consecutive numbers. If we make one of them positive and the other negative, they add up to -1. So like this, we have +7 and -8, so we will take them in this shape. So this example here, factorize to t plus 7 and t minus 8. And again, if we expand this quadratic, we will have this quadratic expression.